Hello, Good Shepherd and Saints Francis and John. I am Father John Lyjana, pastor of Good Shepherd, with this week's edition of Christ in Home. This week, we prepare with the gospel message of the fifth Sunday of Lent. This is a reading from the Gospel according to John. Jesus went to the Mount of Olives, but early in the morning he arrived again in the temple area. And all the people started to come to him, and he sat down and taught them. Then the scribes and the Pharisees brought a woman who had been caught in adultery and made her stand in the middle. They said to him, "Teacher, this woman was caught in the very act of committing adultery. Now in the law, Moses commanded us to stone such women. So what do you say?" They said this to test him, so that they could have some charge to bring against him. Jesus bent down and began to write on the ground with his finger. But when they continued asking him, he straightened up and said to them, "Let the one among you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone at her." Again he bent down and wrote on the ground, and in response they went away one by one, beginning with the elders. So he was left alone with the woman before him. Then Jesus straightened up and said to her, "Woman, where are they? Has no one condemned you?" She replied, "No one, sir." Then Jesus said, "Neither do I condemn you. Go, and from now on, do not sin anymore." The scribes and Pharisees are not doing their job correctly. They're to interpret the law, share it with others. In the New Testament, sometimes they seem to covet what they know of the law and use it to punish others, like the women in this reading, or Jesus and the disciples in other readings. The law is from God for everyone, for all of humanity. All of us need it. All of us will break it. So when we bring someone in front of others to belittle them because they have done something wrong or violated the law, one reason people do this is to make themselves look better than that individual. But from the perspective of God in heaven, all humanity is not worthy. So if you make yourself seemingly better than the person next to you, that does not mean much from God's perspective. Looking at all of humanity from on high, can you really notice the difference? Imagine looking at the ground when riding in an airplane. Can you tell the good from the bad, the better from the worse? You can't. This also reminds me of a principle of management given to us by Dr. Deming. He's known as the father of quality. One of his principles, and it's apropos to this reading, one of his principles is to drive out fear of making a mistake. His reasoning is, if you instead share your mistake instead of trying to hide it or blame someone else, you share it with others, what you have done, especially what you've done to correct it. And by doing so, you're preventing others from doing the same that you did. Now, if everyone followed this logic and shared what mistakes they made and how to correct them, less people would be making mistakes. Less people would be sinning in the world. And this is how the law should be applied. And this is how the law benefits everyone, because it is for everyone. This way, all of humanity is enlightened. More of humanity is obedient, and our world is more at peace. The beginning of this is to look inward to ourselves. Evaluate ourselves. Don't belittle yourselves or get mad at yourself. but examine your conscience to find out what things you have done wrong and how to correct them so you yourself do not make that mistake again. This activity for this family then is an examination of conscience, and there's many of them about. Let me share with you one that I picked up from a Jesuit friend I spoke with some time ago. There's 6 steps. Step number 1, say these words: God, I believe that at this quiet moment I am in your presence and you are now loving me. Come, Holy Spirit. Step 2, God, I acknowledge your love for me and the various gifts for which I am very grateful. Thanks be to God. Number 3, God, help me now to review the events of this day in order to recognize you in all parts of my life. Lord, I want to see. Number 4, God, please forgive the times I have fallen short and strengthen my attempts to follow you. Lord, have mercy. Number 5, God, enlighten me so that my future choices praise, reverence, and serve you above all else. Show me the way. And finally, number 6, you conclude with the recitation of the Our Father. Making this exercise an examination of conscience, whatever form you choose, a regular part of your family's life together, will help nurture a Christ-centered life and allow you to grow in knowledge of the law and in your ability to share it with others. This, and yearning for the sacrament of reconciliation, accomplishes this task. We hope that your family will embrace this as yet another way of being Christ in your home. God bless, and see you at Mass.